And we're back again. I hope everybody can hear me. Massive echo. Oh boy. Well, I don't know where that comes from. Um, my desktop audio is mute and my stream is also mute. Okay. Great. I had that same problem. I had the problem and I just muted my desktop audio and then fixed it. But it should be working because it should be working. Okay. Anyway, it's 7:30 in Europe right now. The sun is coming over the mountains in quotation marks. They're not really that high, but it's going over the mountains in Western Germany, and it's late at night in the Americas. I have no clue how late it is in Korea. I think we have a Korean member, Mr. Burns. And we'll just have to see how it goes. Oh, Astro Junkie is here. So we're 1:30 a.m. That's somewhere in America. Okay, late night stream. The earliest then can go. So what do we have here? This is for the board game pack, the Saturn Board Game Pack, or it had a rather long name. I forget. Oh, and I've made some nice assets. I have this checkerboard which I made out of a floor texture and all the appropriate maps. So we have the that's the wrong material, or is it? Oh, it's the right material. It's this material. So we have the plywood material mixed with red in this node, the multiply node, multiply RGB, which there's also a simple mix node, but it does not give the best results. Often I find that using the mix RGB node and with the multiply setting gives a better result, and also you have to often see which node to plug in first. And then I'm multiplying this with another node, an ambient occlusion node. I don't really think I need this, so I'm just gonna plug it in directly. And I think it has to be in the sRGB color space, so you can have both. For example, here the roughness, which tells it's a black and white oh wait, I don't know what where the echo is coming from and how to fix it. What do you mean by echo? Maybe I should turn this off. Is it better now? Okay, maybe it's I had that before on stream. It's I really don't know where it's coming from, so I'll have to figure that one out later. Anyway, here's the roughness map, which tells it where to make the texture rough or shiny. And then there is the height map. I think you can do bump or normal. You can just also do a normal map. Oh, no, that's not a normal map. Let's go with an actual normal map. Just this one. Plug it in and plug this into the normal. And this tells it's also a black and white map which tells Blender where to make faux height or false or simulate the illusion of height on the texture, although it is flat. There's also a displacement map, but that's some which actually makes modifies the height of the mesh itself, not just simulates it in texture. This, for example, is the result of a normal map, and also the roughness map. You can see it's less rough in this area. It's more rough in this area, less shiny, and it seems as if there was a recession here where the crack is, but in fact this entire texture is flat, so it's just dynamic shadows and lighting created over the texture. I don't know how it exactly works, but that's fine. So what do we have here? That's my reference for the chessboard and the checkers board. It's gonna be everything. It's gonna be the chessboard and so forth. And here we have our plaster wall. And let's go ahead and set up the texture for the table. I'm gonna go ahead and quickly download a new texture. You can go to Texture Hayden, which is an offspring of HDRI Haven. Emerald Nova wrote, for two-player compatibility, you should consider doing a reverse shot at least for the background. Local two-player or online two-player? Well, if on local two-player it might well, online two-player would just keep the scene and just switch the color of the pieces. And local two-player, I don't know yet. I'll have to see. Ooh, that's nice. I think I'm gonna use that. I just saw a nice texture. It's a floor texture, but that doesn't matter. Why not use it right now? Okay, here we go. And let's load that in. I wanted to have, as you can see, it has this nice design around the edge, and I wanted to recreate that if I can. So let's hide these and have a look at this. That should be enough. No. Okay. Oh no. Maybe I shouldn't be using the subdivision surface modifier on the board. It's really irritating. I should probably switch to a bevel modifier. So let's do an edge crease here. Does that fix the problem? It does not. Maybe it's the inward slopes. Edge crease 1. Oh yes, that does the trick. That's perfect. Just no. Do an edge crease here. All the way. Reverse shot. Oh no! Now it's on top again. So they both need it. So Emerald Nova, do you mean that both viewpoints would be on screen at the same time, or do you mean that you would switch between viewpoints? Oh, come on. Where did this come from? Ah, yes. Probably mean a second wall. Well, I had planned on having some nice flowers here and something else on the other side. So if you switch, the flowers would switch places and the other object would switch places. What is it? Where is this coming from? Be coming from this one? From this face? Let's go all the way up. Oh, it's gone. Yeah, it's this tiny edge here and this tiny edge. Well, they're both edges. No, not edge light. Edge crease. Come on. Edge crease. Let's do an edge crease. Oh yes. Yes, I could do that, but you'll have to ask the doctor because he'll have to like make a small animation out of it. Well, we could do it if we did it like Death Mask, but that might be too complicated. Or like Mist. Ah, it's the upper one. Oh boy. Oh boy. So, what I'm doing right now is this board has a subdivision surface modifier on it, and the actual mesh is much simpler if you see around here. Let's zoom in. Here, that's the actual mesh, and if I turn this on, it gets smoother, but there are two ways of doing this. One is an edge bevel and modify. The other is a subdivision surface modifier, and the subdivision surface modifier modifies everything, every surface, as but the bevel only subdivides sharp edges at a certain angle, and depending on what kind of object you have, you should use one or the other, or you can use both. And the way you have different methods of telling it where not to use the modifier. You can, on this one, you can use creases. Well, I think this modifier only uses the creases, so I have to hit Control E and give it an edge crease. And for the other modifier, there are actually different methods. You can do it by assigning different vertices to a group, or having it be done only for corners at certain angles, and or by assigning an edge bevel weight, which is very similar, or basically exactly similar, exactly the same as edge crease. And you can even combine the two, I've heard, but I haven't done that yet. So let's go back in and make that nice border. This is too much. Let's just do the border and be done with it. Okay. Now, I shall need a new material. Doctor, no, did it have instant changes? I thought it had a few frames in between when you change positions, but that may have been a different game. There's also the 7th guest, the 11th hour. I think you're right. But I think the 7th guest, the 11th hour, and Mansion of Hidden Souls have actual trans frames where you move from one game to the next. I've never played Riven, so there's that. Should probably also like put the chat in the stream, so people still know what we were talking about once it has gone off Twitch and is only available on YouTube. So I need a new material. This has the second version of wood. Let's give it a new material. So this is important. This confused the hell out of the doctor at one point. You have slots and you have actual material and the materials and the slots are distinct entities. So each object has its own slots, and then there are global materials. And clicking here makes a new slot for this object only, and clicking here makes a new material, a global material, which I will be naming border. So let's go into shading and set up this material. I'm going to hit Shift A, I for input, and where did it go? No, not input. T for texture, and A for image texture. So Shift A, T, and A. And there we go, we have our image texture. And I'm going to find the appropriate texture, which is the diffuse color, which is basically the actual texture, like the image, and the only texture you would have had on something like an N64 or a Saturn, just the plain image file. And I'm going to assign this. Ah, boy. The subdivision surface modifier is added again. I really need to change. This is not an object you would want that for. Okay. Now let's go to UV editing and have a look at this UV island, and I wanna scale this island up until it matches, until these borders match the height of one of these square patterns, so it aligns correctly. Just a little more. Let's see, I hope that works. Let's have a look. Where are we at? Why is it? So it's perfect on these sides, but it's overshooting for some reason on the other sides. And the recession is a little too deep for my taste. Let's make this more subtle. Yeah, it's better. Okay. So let's try to line that up again. Maybe I can just line up the individual faces. So let's go G, Okay. Yes, that should be good enough. It's not perfect, but I wonder how much you're really gonna see. Maybe I'll fix it later, but this is good enough for now. So let's add in all the other maps. Let's see what we have here. I can copy this with Shift D or Control C and V. So let's do that, but as you notice, two appeared here, and it says display number of users of this data, and if you see, if I change the color space to non-color, the other node changes as well, and this is not what we want. So just click on here and it will become its own entity. I don't know why Blender does that, but it's the way it is. So let's go back and I'm going to add the, what do we have here? We have an ambient occlusion map. We have a displacement map, which is overkill on such a small border. We have the roughness map, a normal map, and a DX normal map. What the hell is a DX normal map? I will have to find it out later. Let's just start with the roughness map. The roughness map is easy. We just go to the non-color space and stick it into roughness, which should make it update. Probably see it better if I'm in full render mode, but my machine might die. So here we have it. Let's add in another map. Let's just copy this, unlink it, and what shall we do? What shall we do? Let's do the normal map. Just give it a normal map node, plug in the color, plug this into normal. What is happening? Okay. let's just go on. Do I need this to be sRGB or non-color? I have no clue. So which one do we do next? Let's go ahead, unlink this again, open it up. So we have the diffusion map, we have the roughness map, we have the normal map. I don't know what the DX normal map is. I don't want a displacement map because it's overkill. So we can add in the ambient occlusion map. So we'll need a mix RGB shader and plug the diffusion map in slot 1. Go to multiply and copy this. No, that's not what we want. Don't do that. Just plug it in into the second one, remove that, unlink it, and now add in the ambient occlusion map. Should be in the sRGB space according to the guide online, and we plug it back into base color. Well, this should do the trick. Where did my board go? There it is. We'll probably have to make that a little smaller and move it down somewhat. Or just replace the center plane with this checkered board plane cube. That's the window. This is the table. Let's rename everything properly. This is the window. Second version of the window. So let's put the original window in back. Board checkers. Graph. Why can't I select this? This is the old center of these pieces, which I had replaced with the diamond, where did my diamond go? It's parented to the game pieces. So, well, I don't know about these. I've been testing out the doctor's idea of having two colors. Well, I had to put in the diamond because of your idea of having two colors, like for red and white for me and blue and green for you. Originally it was this normal centerpiece which I pulled out, but I see what you mean. If it's on the far side of the board, it might not be visible. I can just put the original center back in, I guess. Wait, I'm just gonna delete it. I'm just gonna go ahead and make a group, select this edge loop, and then you can type grid fill. Oh, it's Control F. Nice. Control F. This opens this window, and then I still have to. Okay, I'll just press G. There we go. Now I'm going to select the center vertex of this nice grid fill and pull it up. It's a bit sluggish right now. Let's turn off these modifiers. Okay, that should do it. Now we're gonna turn on proportional editing. You have these different fall-offs. I'm going to go with sphere, and I'm going to up the proportional size until this fits. Yeah, this should fit. Okay, very nice. Let me just check. It's working with the subsurf. It may be a bit too flat for my taste. Because let's see it in the actual render engine, not in this EV preview. Yeah, it could be more pronounced, but we can fix that later. So we have this nice border. Still need to fix that. What do we do next? Should we fix the wall. We can fix the wall. I think I'm going to remove the subsurf modifier and set this up differently. I don't need these edges anymore. They were originally connected to the window, but the window is no longer connected to the wall. And I believe I don't need these either, but maybe I'm going to need them if I want to do the displacement modifier properly. I should probably keep them. And let's see. Going to activate edge length, so we have 64 centimeters, 72. Let's bring that down to the same size, so the subdivision will be appropriate. 70, yeah, should be probably good enough. And now we're going to add a bevel modifier and have a look at this. So, no, not just 1 millimeters, let's say 3 centimeters. Yes, it's an old building. We need a proper bevel and some segments. Like 4 should probably be enough. Very nice. And what else can we do? I'd like to combine this with a subdivision surface modifier, but not a Catmull-Clark one. I'd like it to be a simple subdivision surface modifier. Let me just illustrate the difference between the two. I'll just create a cube and give it a subdivision surface modifier, and you see what's happening. It's turning into this ball with the Catmull-Clark modifier, and it retains its shape with the simple subdivision surface modifier. So you can easily see what's happening here. With the Catmull-Clark modifier, it gets rounder and rounder, but and it would look like this if I applied the modifier. But what's happening in the simple modifier, let's apply it and go in. So you can see it's only subdividing the faces, but it's not changing shape. So depending on the context and what you're trying to achieve, you will use one or the other. And of course, there's different ways to achieve this softening of edges. So let's see, we have simple modifier. Let's up this one a bit. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, it's uneven. And that's not what we It's not ideal. It's not what we want. So we might have to go in and do this by hand. To get a proper result, because I want these squares to be even, otherwise the displacement modifier will look weird. When I add the subdivision surface modifier with Catmull Clark and I also use the displacement modifier, the displacement modifier would warp in the direction of the corners of this window, so there is that to look out for. But let's just go ahead and scale this on the z-axis. Why are we slow again? 67 centimeters. Let's go 67. Yeah, that should be about right. Okay. But I'm going to run into trouble here. But maybe I can also take the easy route out and up this to no, let's not do that. Oh, come on. There's what's your problem? There's literally no geometry here right now. Okay, I'm going to go into... Okay, that seems to be better. I'm going to go into another preview type, the solid view portraiting, which does not include a lot of things. So, yes, so all faces should be somewhat square. So let's... Oh, the subdivision surface modifier is still on, that's why. Let's see. Well, I want a new texture. And I want it to be the displacement map of the plaster wall. Inclusion, roughness, normal displacement. There we go. So let's see. We have that in there. And this is not a node. Well, it is a node, but I don't know what it will achieve. So let's have a real node in here. Yes, add the bevel. Or Is that correct? Let's do the subdivisions first. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. What is happening? Weird. Anyway, maybe move it to last again. Yeah. And add a displacement modifier. Where did you go? It's probably best I unlinked this displacement node. What does it do? If there's, I'll have to find out later what's the difference between the displacement node and this displacement modifier, but let's go here, displace, and this will affect the actual mesh itself. And I'm going to give it our texture. Ah, it moved. Oh no. Oh no, it's having weirdness again. And the area of the corners, you can see it right there. And I don't know why. But it's less pronounced than before. Ah, it's having... Why is it having trouble? In the area of where my edges are. Why is it creating these weird stripes, and why are they only vertical? But anyway, you should be able to see what this does. Let's bump up the strength. Ah, yes, there we go. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah. It seems to be working nicely on the planar surfaces, but you can see it here, it kind of wavers and gives it this nice uneven effect, but it's having real trouble with the edges. What if I I just solve the edge? It's gone. That weird effect is gone. And it's not playing nice with my bevel modifier, and it might just be the fact in which order this is used. Now that I use the angle modifier and delimit it to an angle, these effects disappear. So let's go back and add the edges back in. Okay. And change the limit method to angle. Maybe move it to last. Oh, yes. It fixed it. It was only a matter of putting the bevel modifier in last, first subdividing it, doing the displacement modifier, and limiting it to an angle above 30 degrees, so this won't be affected. Great. Awesome. And you should be able to see that this this face is no longer planar. You can see it here quite well. It's kind of bumpy right now. Let's go in and up the strength. To like 10. Is this normal? Are these stripes normal? I do not know. I have no clue, and for some reason the bevel modifier seems more limited now than I had intended. Does this do something? Nope. It seems to clamp somewhere. Oh boy. There we go again. Never seen this before. Wonder if this is good enough, but I'll just have to see. I really had hoped for a stronger effect, a lot stronger. So let's deactivate the two and this actually that's size I was going for. Just need to have a look at this. Um, oh no. That's an idea. I could just try to fix this myself. Because that grid fill is not doing it for me. Might also... Ah, here we have the different methods. None, angle, weight, and vertex group. Let's go with weight. And let me see. Edge bevel weight to 1. On these. And then we're going to see how much we're gonna do it here. That's the full effect. We get this lesser effect, which is a little weird. Nice in here, but it's... Why is it so horrible on the outside? What is happening? Same here. What are you doing? This is odd. If I shade it smooth. No, no, this is not helping. Oh boy. Oh boy, where do these shadows come from? Let's just do angle. Maybe do a cutoff. Yeah, maybe the grid fill is not so bad, considering the alternatives. But I don't think I can make the displacement modifier work with this. Yes, no, 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 no. That ain't happening. What's this edge doing here? Where did it come from? Where did it go? Nobody knows. So I will just have to find a different way. So let's add let's add a subsurf modifier. You can combine the two. It makes for some funky geometry. It's more like in a cave. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. I think that even makes it look a little better. As weird as that is. Might already be the effect I was going for, but let's just put this back to simple. Put this back to 10. Move the subdivision to last. Is there a randomize modifier? I don't think there was, which is too bad. Just make a copy of the wall, hide it, and apply both our modifiers. Oh yes. This is some fancy geometry. Dear Lord. What have I done? So let's. Oh, no, 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 no. Let's turn off edge length, and there is a randomize command. Ooh wee. It's very strong. Might be usable on the walls, but not anywhere. And myself, very weird effect here. Oh god. I might have to do this by hand. I might have to end doing this by hand. Oh dear. Well, anyhow, I think that is enough for today. And I thank you all for coming in. Not going to do a 5-hour stream. I work in shorter bursts, and I'm going to go to I'm going to go work now, and I'll see you guys later.